Good afternoon, this is Suzanne Sprinkle, and here's my comp exam for our ePortfolio. So one of the first highlights that I would like to begin with is our Kansas on our Flight-Wamego High School program. So what this program is we take 25 area veterans to Washington, D.C. so they can experience the memorials that were constructed for them at no cost to them. We pair up Wamego High School National Honor Society students to act as student guardians to these veterans. It's pretty great to watch throughout the trip the impact that this program has on both the students and the veterans, and then also the surrounding community. At first they're a little timid, they're kind of scared, they don't know how they're going to find something to talk about with somebody from such a completely different generation, but by the end of the trip they're thick as thieves. They're just such great friends, and they really have some lasting relationships through this program. This program will definitely help me as a future administrator, being that to organize this flight, it's really a year-long process. We have to do all of the fundraising for the trip. So we are funded by private donors, by businesses, area businesses, grants, and also by just free will donation and different fundraisers that the students put on throughout the year. Then we need to coordinate with all of the different aspects throughout the trip. And so all of that coordinating and all of that working with the business and working with different businesses and working with community members is definitely something that an administrator would need to do. And with our success, we of course have some people that believe we should be doing some things some different ways, and so we get to handle different conflicts and things like that as well, just like an administrator would need to do for different aspects of what they deal with on a daily basis. Another area of the ePortfolio is the Leading Together team that I am currently working with. So the Leading Together, it's a program out of the Courage and Renewal in schools. And so what it is all about is strengthening trust relationships among the adults within the building. And actually this program started in businesses and has made its way into schools because of just the importance of building that trust and having to have that trust among the adults in order to trickle down to the students and just be successful as a school. So the protocols and the organization and the structure that the Leading Together program teaches is incredibly important, and as a future administrator, this is completely how I would like to run my staff in my building, because with these protocols, everybody has a voice. Everybody gets to give their opinion, and they are all part of the decisions that are being made. So there's a lot of ownership taken in the decisions, and that of course helps those decisions be lived out through all of the different members of the staff. The next highlight through the ePortfolio is the Kagan Cooperative Learning Team. By being a part of this team, it has given me an opportunity to present to the staff on several different occasions. It's given me the opportunity to build relationships with various staff members by opening up my classroom and inviting them in and starting to build that communication by giving and that trust by giving trust away by inviting them in. And so hopefully they will feel more comfortable when it's my turn to come into their classroom and we can discuss things that may be uncomfortable for them. But the research and the results of using Kagan Cooperative Learning in the classroom is so impactful for the students, and the learning that takes place while using Kagan Cooperative Learning strategies is definitely one that we would like to build capacity in within our schools. So having that opportunity to work with different teachers through this type of professional development has been a great experience, and something that definitely will help as a future administrator, being that there will definitely be teachers that may not agree with what we're doing within the school, but if they understand the why behind it, and they see the research behind it, and they see how great it is for kids, and we give them that opportunity to kind of get comfortable with it first, then I think that will build a lot of great relationships among my future staff and myself as an administrator. So going through all of this professional development and organizing it and talking to different teachers has been a great experience that will definitely help in the future. The building leadership team is most definitely, I'm learning so much on this team to use as a future administrator. We talk about all the nuts and bolts of the school, the vision, the mission. We evaluate those each year. We talk about our why. We talk about how to reach kids in different ways. We talk about grading and reporting practices, scheduling finals. Pretty much anything that happens in the school comes through the building leadership team. And so having that experience can really translate as a future administrator, being that all of these things will come up in every school that that I become a part of. So the experience has just been invaluable. Another part that I'd like to highlight is the annotated bibliography. This was a part that I was really I really enjoyed going through the reading and the continuing to learn about best practices and other ideas that you can use within your school and how to be a better leader and all of the different articles that made up this annotated bibliography. It was just really great to have the time to sit down and to really evaluate whether it was a good source or not a good source. I've shared several of these with my colleagues, and we're looking into several different ones. So it was, I really enjoyed the annotated bibliography, and I think as a future administrator, it's just imperative to continue learning and to continue building those leadership skills. I think once we think that we have this thing called education all figured out, I think that's going to be about the time when we need to retire. We need to look into some other type of work, because there's always something new out there. There's always a challenge that we can be doing better. There's always something that we can be improving on. And I think it's just so essential to continue learning and continue looking for that best practice and not necessarily always jumping to the next new thing, but reflecting and looking at if it's something that would work for our school or not work for our school and for our students, of course. The next part was the interview with the elementary principal. So I chose this particular elementary principal to talk with because she's been in the district for between 15 and 20 years. She's a very established administrator, and I actually have two of my daughters are in her elementary school, and she has an incredible way of communicating everything with parents. She's very approachable, and the school is very, very welcoming. And the only way that you don't know what's going on in that school is if you don't read your emails, if you're not a part of a blog, if you're not a part of Facebook, if you're not, there's really no way that you can not be informed about what's happening within the school. And it's just really great that she gets all of those all that information and all of the highlights and all of the great things that the kids are doing. She gets that out there on a very consistent and continuous basis. So I just really appreciated having the time to speak with her and to kind of see how she does that and see how she handles all of the different aspects and still really focuses on this one really important piece, which is communication with parents and with her staff and how she makes all of that work. So she'll definitely be a great resource and mentor for me as a future building administrator. And I'd like to continue on with those conversations because there's so much that I can learn from her experience. And finally, the last part of the e-portfolio that I would like to highlight is the leadership philosophy. I really and truly believe that as a building administrator, you have to have that North Star. You have to have that leadership philosophy, those things that you truly, truly believe. and hopefully you have a way to bring your staff on board. And it's not to say that you're not willing to listen to other perspectives, and you're not, it's not saying that at all, but it's that firm belief that students are the most important part of the job. The impact that we're making on the students is the most important part of the job. And those relationships that we have with students and with our staff and with other members of the learning community is just so huge. Because I truly think that it is so easy to get lost in all of the different things that come up from day to day, and things that could possibly be fairly negative. It's really easy to get caught up in that. But if you have that North Star and everything that you do puts you towards that goal and helps you to improve each and every day from one day to the next, that you're improving, I just really think that that's what makes the job more doable, and that's, I think, what gives you the integrity to do the job and to build that trust among your staff. So if they understand where you're coming from and you're clear that they matter and the students matter, and that's why we're all there in the first place, I just think it was incredibly important to write that down and to make sure that we have that before we ever consider being an administrator. I just think that that's just huge, to be able to know ourselves enough to be able to write that down as a leadership philosophy, and then share that with our staff, so that we can be more successful as a school and more successful for our students. So this has been an incredible learning experience. The past 2 years of going through the coursework and learning all the different aspects about what it takes to be a building administrator has been really great and exciting. It's been great to talk with other professionals and to just learn about all of the different aspects. I'm kind of sad that it's almost over, but we'll definitely continue to use many of the things learned throughout this program, just as a teacher leader, but then also as a future administrator. So thank you.